Hi, my name's Logan Thomas, and I'm a student physical therapist at Trine, and today I'm going to be demonstrating the UPDRS outcome measure, and that stands for Unified Parkinson's Disease Rating Scale. So what we're testing for is just to get sort of a baseline on the progression of the Parkinson's disease, and then once you get your baseline, you can perform the test later on after treatment, and you can see how the patient is progressing. The population is, it says anyone 18 and older that has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And how you score the test, there's 4 sections. The only one we're going to be testing today is part 3, which is motor function. And each question has a 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 0 means that the disease is absent, 1 is slight, 2 is mild, 3 is moderate, and 4 is severe. So to begin, I have Wasim here, who is my patient, and we'll start out with speech. So can I have you count to 10 for me?
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so he would score a 0, which is normal. If he had low volume or slurring of his words, that would rate him lower, or if I couldn't understand him at all. And facial expressions, as I'm talking to him, I can observe those. He scores normal. When he was counting the numbers, he had normal facial expression. His lips aren't parted all the time. They're together most of the time. He doesn't have a poker face. He's displaying normal expressions. So we're going to test rest tremors right now. So if I can have you sit with your hands on your thighs just like this. So I'm observing his posture, his feet. I can move the camera down. He has no tremors at the feet, his hands have no tremors, and his head has no tremors. So that places him a 0 on the scale because rest tremors are absent. Action tremors. I'm going to go ahead and put my hand out, and if you can touch your finger to my finger, and back, and with the other hand, and back. Okay, so with the action, he didn't have any tremors, so he also scores a 0 for absent. If he had slight, moderate tremors with that, he would score a 2, 3, or 4. Rigidity, I'm just going to check the rigidity of his neck. So I'm just going to put my hands on you and just relax as much as you can. Okay. So for rigidity, he also scored a 0. He had no rigidity there. I would be kind of checking to see if it was stiff to move or if it's almost like a lead pipe bending. Finger taps, so can I have you just repeat this motion as fast as you can? And with that, he should be able to tap his finger 15 times within 5 seconds. So he's scoring 0, which is normal. If there was a mild slowing or reduction in amplitude, he would score a 1. If he was moderately impaired or he fatigued early, he's scoring a 2. Severe impairment or hesitation is 3, and then 4, he can't even perform the task. So hand movements. This I'm just going to ask you to act like you're unscrewing a light bulb as fast as you can. And the same thing, if he can get 15 within 5 seconds, he scores a 0, which he is. Rapid alternating movements of the hand. So if I can have you just flip your hands back and forth. Good. And the same thing for that. If he can get 15 in 5 seconds, he scores a normal. If he has mild or moderate impairment or he can't even perform the task, he's going to score higher than a 0. Leg agility. If I can ask you to just tap your feet and do the other foot. Good. So for that, that's the same thing. If he can get 15 taps within 5 seconds, he is unimpaired. So he scores a 0 on that as well. And the same as before, 4 means he can't even perform the task. 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, 3 is severe impairment. And I'm going to ask you to arise from your chair. So if you can cross your hands over your chest and stand up. And sit back down. Good. So for that, he scores a 0. He could do that with no issues. If it was slow getting up, he would score a 1. If he had to use the arms on his seat to push up, he would score a 2. If he fell back or had to try multiple times, it was a 3. And a 4 means he can't get up without my help. So posture, if I can have you go ahead and stand up and turn to the side. So right now what we're doing is assessing his posture. He's going to score a 0. He has normal posture. So if he wasn't quite erect or he was stooped over a little bit, he would score a 1. If he was moderately stooped or he had to lean to one side, that's a 2. If he had severe kyphosis or moderate leaning to one side, he's a 3. And a 4 means he has marked flexure with extreme abnormality of posture. So the next one is gait. I'm going to ask him to turn and walk 15 feet that way and 15 feet back. So what we're doing now is checking heel striking, cadence, step length, arm swing, just making sure he has no deviations. So he would also score a 0 for that. If he was walking really slow or shuffled, he would score a 1. 2, he has difficulty, but he doesn't require much assistance. 3 is severe disturbance, or he has to use an assistive device. And 4, he cannot walk at all. And the final test is going to be postural stability. So what I'm going to have him do is I'm going to stand him up. And I'm just going to pull on his shoulders from behind and try to knock him over. And if he can recover without falling down, then he's going to score a 0. Good. So for that, he scores a 0 because he didn't fall at all. A 1 would be retropulsion but recovers unaided. 2 is absence of postural response, or he would fall if I had to catch him. 3 is very unstable and he loses his balance spontaneously. 4, he can't even stand up there without assistance. So for Wasim here, he scored 0 on every category. In the scoring system, you just add up all the scores and that will give you your baseline. So as you can see, he scored 0. He does not have the Parkinson's disease. And for validity and reliability, validity scores as adequate. Since it is, my discretion, it can get a little iffy here and there. And then also on rehab measures, for a lot of the validity categories, it says not established. And for reliability, under rehab measures, it scores as excellent with an R rating of 0.96 and an alpha of 0.93. So validity and predictive validity is excellent, as well as retest and test reliability. Thank you.